records are set, too.
We had a track record broke
Yeah.
with the Hornet division. Tracy Muse breaks a track record. I think it was 18.655 is a new track record for the Hornets.
Yeah.
Overall, I thought the racing surface itself
was really
good.
Nice.
And when we were putting the cameras out,
Yeah.
Dom and Sam and I had a good conversation about the track and who pulls up, of all people, while we're talking about the track, who pulled up to talk to us about it?
Mr. Jerry Schramm.
Jerry Schramm. And I said, Jerry, I got to tell you, I'm looking down at the track here, and looking at it, when we walked out, I was expecting to just eat it. I mean, just slip right on my tailpipe.
I thought we were going to just start sinking down, and yeah.
It's what it looked like, right?
It looked slimy, but it
wasn't. We stepped out on the track, and the track was hard, but had a ton of traction in it. It was, I don't know what those guys did, but the track, full compliments.
Yes.
Full compliments. The track was, I think, the best racing surface we had all year.
Well, I'll tell you what, there was a lot of traction that track. I mean, I know you guys, I think you guys missed it, but we were having a little bit of fun out there before the green flag fell.
So while we're talking about track conditions, the Swear Trucking chat line just lit up. Okay, so Jeremy Means, Willamette Speedway flagman, says drivers put on an incredible show all night. Yes, they did. They did.
Absolutely.
We saw racing 3 and 4 wide out of turn 2 at times. We saw
crazy.
that. The next comment was from our last week's hot pit guest, Joey Tanner. His comment says, "I'll take some credit for that." LOL. I don't know what happened, but the track, kudos to whoever. I don't know if it was Jerry was doing it or you were involved. Or
I had nothing to do with it.
Or if it was Skippy, whoever. Phenomenal job. Track.
It was beautiful.
But see, that's the thing. That is a job that I think would be...
it's difficult.
Well, we've talked about it. You know, we in our pre-show.
The learning process. I know you're moving dirt. But if you don't know how to run a grader, you don't know how to do this, and you run all that equipment, and trying to move it without experience, that's a learning process where, like this year, you're going to have frustrated drivers and fans.
Well, there's a science to it, obviously.
There is, and there's.
Well, when we talked, a couple weeks ago, it was the three of us plus Warren and Sam Pettit, our video guy. We were all talking about it, and the topic got brought up. Hey, let's talk about how to prep a racetrack on the show. And I'm sitting there going, and I go, well, it's this. We're talking relative humidity, moisture in the ground, water table, and I mean, Corey looks at me and goes, "That's a whole show. We're not doing that this week."
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I don't want. And this, I said it when we opened the show, 100% accuracy. I want to be. If I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm not going to go on the air with 20,000 people listening and make myself sound like an idiot. More than we already do.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm not going to say I know how to prep a track. I know what a good racetrack looks like.
Yep.
I know what can be done on a good racetrack, and I've seen some of the process. Can I do it? No. Would I want to? I don't know. I think that'd be a hard thing to learn. I really do.
Yeah, I know in the properties of clay, what it's going to do with water, what the weather was like the week before.
And that's the hard part, is that every clay is different. You got the red clay down. The red clay at Cottage Grove is very similar looking to the red clay at Sunset. But the two clays behave completely differently.
Worlds apart, yeah.
And then you get the clay you've got at Willamette Speedway, which behaves like neither of those two.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go somewhere like Bakersfield, California, and Schweitzer brings in that grapevine clay.
Yep.
And that stuff.
It gets hard, it gets super tight, and man, you want to see slick. October 13th and 14th, Bakersfield Speedway, night number 2, October 14th. Watch.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the fun we've had. But
so here's a tricky question. Roger Snyder from Roger That Barbecue says, would you rather help Jeremy in the flag stand or help Jerry prep the track?
I'd rather prep the track.
I would rather prep the track. I want nothing to do with Jeremy Means' job. No way.
Okay, I'll answer that one. For me, is I would prep the racetrack because there's heavy equipment involved.
Well, that's why you would do it. I would do it just to learn it. The flagging deal, you're always going to have somebody PO'd at you. Always.
Well, same with prepping a racetrack.
Not necessarily. I think last Saturday night, more people were happy than weren't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But
now, with
you still had somebody pissed off at you.
Well, you're going to. That's a given.
Yeah.
But with a flagman, it's a 50-50 deal. You got half the. I mean, at least half the people there don't like you.
Well, how can he look in two different directions at
right.
one time?
And that's why I'm the opinion of. And it's not it's not talking bad about a flagman or anybody's job. That is a hard job, and
Very hard.
I think two people should be in the flag stand. I stated that.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that it's always a good idea, not only just to make calls, but as a safety thing too.
Yeah.
So.
Without a
exactly.
doubt.
But Willamette Speedway last Saturday night was an awesome show. We did, like Joel said, we had 6 classes on hand. 6 classes. I want to go through and I want to talk about champions. I want to congratulate them. Joel, you got our list of champions here?
I should somewhere. Yes, I do, actually. Where do you want to start?
Let's start at the bottom. When I say the bottom, I'm talking little cars to big cars. Let's start with the Hornets. Tracy Muse goes back-to-back championships, last year, this year, new track record holder. I know that we're going to see – we won't see the M16 car there next year. Because
Are you sure?
Well, it sounds like it's a pretty real deal. They're moving to Montana.
Dude, it's Tracy. He'll fly back here just to defend his title.
And he's talking about leaving the car here and flying in. I don't know if he'll do that every week, but I could see Tracy doing that, knowing Tracy the way that we've got to know him over the year. I wouldn't count that out to see that car there a couple times, but
he's a crafty little bugger right there.
I'll tell you, did you watch his qualifying lap when he broke the track record?
I only watched one corner of it.
Okay, so here's the thing: we all have a passion for racing, and everybody has kind of a different avenue. For me, I love the street stocks, and I love the late models. Everybody loves the late models; they're big and fast and nasty and loud and neon. They're cool cars. Then you got the hardcore modified guys. Everybody's got their favorite class, right? So as the cars are qualifying, Dom, you and I are up there doing our thing. I announced the fast car in that group, the M16 Tracy Muse 18655, and I said, I think that's a new track record. Jeremy Means, I got to give this guy credit. He knows that Hornet division better than anybody else. I said 18655. Jeremy turns around, looks at us, and lips the words, "That's a new track record." He knew right off the top of his head. And sure enough, I got my phone, got in the notes.
Yep.
It broke the old track record that was held by Travis Cook.
Well, and Jeremy Means is so up on that stuff. He even remembers what the wingless record is and what the 410 record is.
Right.
And the 360 record. I mean, how often do we see 410 sprint cars, wingless sprint cars, 360s?
That's why that stuff is in my phone and the notes. I don't have room for that in my head. It's stuff that I don't see very often. And don't give me that look.
Well, dude, you don't even have room for hair in your head.
Listen, do you want to live longer than this show? You see? Yeah.
Nah.
Dom's like, I can do it or you want me to do it.
Absolutely. I'm fine.
See?
Oh, wait, I forgot Mafia.
Yeah, see? He's connected.
That's Dom.
So you know what? Oh, I got to tell you. I know we're going to talk about championships. I want to talk about something that happened the other night. So we have a car come down the front stretch, right? I can't remember who it was, but it's not sounding good. I mean, this thing is not sounding good. It's ready to blow. It's some smoke coming out, and it's knocking, right? It comes down the front stretch, and I said, oh, man, that car does not sound good. It sounds like it's knocking like the cops, right? I got things knocking like the cops and missing like Jimmy Hoffa. He goes, oh, man, Jimmy Hoffa is my mom's uncle. I said, oh, my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it. He goes, no, that was actually pretty funny. But I didn't mean it like I'm insulting his mom or anything, but, it was because I know she listens. She listens to the show, so.
You better apologize or she's going to call in on the...
But it was kind of funny. I said, that thing's knocking like the cops and missing like Jimmy Hoffa. He starts cracking up and he says, oh, it's my mom's uncle. And I'm thinking, he starts laughing on the mic, and Sandy's looking at me like I'm, like she always looks at me.
That was darn funny.
Yeah, it was kind of funny.
Nuttier than squirrel turds.
I am. I'll be the first to admit it. But Tracy Muse walks out of Willamette Speedway. Let's talk about the top 5. Give me the top 5 in Hornet points.
Can't you go 7?
We can do 7. Let's do the top. Give me the top 10.
Top 10 in Hornet points for your 2017 season at Willamette Speedway. 10th position, Ro Lavorne.
Didn't she have a win? She had a win.
No,
she didn't get a win this year.
She did not. She was only out on the track 5 times.
Right. I remember she had some issues.
Yes.
Devin Traslevania in the 21T. KC Scott, who ended up taking home the title at Grove.
He was
last year.
the Cottage Grove champion.
He was the Cottage Grove champion this year. Ended up walking out of Willamette Speedway 8th in points. The 04 machine, I cannot read who the driver is. Walked out of there in 7th.
Gosh.
Oh, wait, that's...
Dom Conti.
Dom Conti.
Handsome Dom.
Oh,
Handsome Dom. For a half season, that's pretty good.
Not bad.
2, 4, 6...
Got into the dash?
7.
Yeah, I got it into a bunch of dashes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. 6th, Steve Dove.
Another Amco car.
Yeah.
5th position, the V8 gang, the Van Zant girls.
Right. A couple of rookie drivers.
Talon Rogers, another rookie driver, held down 4th. Greg Davidson came home with 3rd. Crystal Flath, 2nd. And, of course, the M16 of Tracy Muse.
And Crystal Flath had a major wreck to begin the season. Came back and actually got a win.
Came back, got a win at the Rick Barnes Memorial Race. I think that wreck was on...
It was like the second race of the year.
Yes, it was the second race.
It was early in the season.
Very, very early in the season. And, it was good to see her come back after, there was a lot of question amongst the fans and amongst some of the people in the pits. Is Crystal going to come back?
Any driver that goes through that type of wreck and comes back and finishes in the top 5 in points, kudos.
It's commendable.
Well, and it was
without a doubt.
And with this year at Willamette Speedway with our new point system, Tracy Muse made all the races, had numerous feature wins, 706 points. Crystal Flath, 471 points. But she still had 50 points over the next place car, which was Greg Davidson.
Mm-hmm. And Greg got fast towards the end of the season.
He did. He really
he improved over the course of the season.
He put on a show, and I'm just glad that she came back to the racetrack because it's a night that will be ingrained in my head for a long time.
Well, there was as a member of Extreme Fire and Rescue, I know you guys learned a lot in that deal. I think drivers in that class learned a lot about safety and what they...
I think the fans learned a lot, too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
we all did. Even as media, we learned a lot. The track learned a significant portion. I mean, it was one of those moments that was an unfortunate teaching event.
I know for me, in that moment when she got in that wreck, I walked after several minutes because when it looks like things are calming down when we're in the tower, you've been in the tower, you know how it works. We'll get on the radio. What's the condition of the driver? Driver all right? Yep. Just want to know so we know, and if it's good, we can pass along. Whatever. Mm-hmm. Keep the fans know what's going on, or if we got to talk about something else. I wasn't even going to bother you guys with that question because you guys were so busy. I actually walked down on the track, walked up to the crew, saw Josh Harris, saw you guys doing your thing, looked in. I saw Crystal talking, communicating with you guys. Now, she was in pain, but she was communicating, so right then I knew, okay, she's okay. I'm going to go back up the tower. And that was that. I said, okay, she's talking to the crew. She's all right. She's going to be okay. They're going to get her out of here in precautionary measures and check her out, which was a smart thing to do because she did have she was a little beat up.
Well, Chloe went through the same thing, too.
Chloe's wreck was in my opinion, was way worse than Crystal's.
Yeah.
The impact. I'm talking about the impact.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, not the repercussions. We're talking
right.
about the
But I think that because they came out later in the season
mm-hmm.
and they saw that wreck, Dragger Performance and those guys put together a roll cage that did a heck of a job. Full containment seat, Hans device, all the equipment that was needed. And it was a good thing Chloe had that on.
Yeah, I never actually looked at that car until when I was actually going to work on my car at the campground. I actually looked at it. It looked so dramatic.
Yeah, that was...
And we let that car sit there all season long after the wreck, and every time you look at it, we always sit there and it was like, there's got to be energy still stored in that car because it looks like it keeps moving.
Yeah.
Right. Here's the funny thing, and I'm going to say this. It's not funny, but it is funny. I mean, this...
Be careful.
Well, no, it's nothing bad. But when as a driver and you're in the car and you're in the action and something happens, and in your mind, you know what happened. You know what happened. You were there. You were there in the seat. And then you start talking, and people are looking at you going, "What? What are you talking about? That didn't happen." So here, and this is, I'm not calling anybody out. I'm saying what I saw. Okay. We got down in the campground after the races. We went up to, talk to Chloe, make sure she was okay. make sure she was all right. Hey, Chloe, how you doing? Mm-hmm. You all right? So yeah, she was pretty still hopped up on adrenaline. She was still bouncing around a little bit, and she goes, I'm a little sore. I'm okay. She goes,